Top 10 cards you're going to want to find yourself making sure that you have for future Yu-Gi-Oh! Releases. Number one on our list here on things that you should probably pick up is ZS Ascended Sage. So the first couple things we're going to talk about here are going to be callbacks to the new Utopic deck here. So Mr. ZS Ascended Sage, if you control no cards, you can special summon this card from your hand. A Utopia Exceed monster was summoned using this card on the field gains the following effects. Alright, and the following effect is if this card is Exceed summoned, you can add a rank up magic spell card normal from your deck to your hand. And you only use this effect of ZS Ascended Sage once per turn. It's a warrior monster that has the ability to special summon itself onto the field, that then, when you exceed, you get to search for hyper rank up magic, which will be coming out in either Brothers of Legend or if we get a number structure deck here in the TCG. But at this point in time, I highly doubt that. So, a monster that is the forefront of the number deck in the future here. Definitely going to be something that you're going to want to find yourself picking up and making sure that you have for the strategy. And if you don't, I mean, you're going to find yourself in a really bad place. Right now, as I'm making this video, they're pushing $6 to $7, and they are only continuing to go up, you know, down the line. So it's going to be something that it is the backbone of the deck. All right, I can't stress that enough. Next up here is the Utopic Onomatopoeia. So this card is always treated as a Zubababa, the Gaga, the Go, and the Dodos. Alright? And then during your main phase, you can special summon up to one each Zubababa, Gaga, Go, Dodo, from your hand in defense position. You cannot special summon for the rest of the turn except for Exceed monsters from your extra deck. So, a card that only has one printing isn't pressing any high, crazy numbers on value. And literally, the new Utopia deck, guess what it wants to do? It plays this card to extend out more monsters from the hand. Yes, you have multiple levels of searchability for this deck, and this card is just something that people, I guess, just don't put a lot of thought into, a lot of craziness into, but still, as I'm making this, only one printing. So this is going to be something that you're going to want to find yourself once again picking these up and making sure that you have them for future set releases here. That way you're not caught with, guess what, your pants down for the Utopic release. And the last one in the Utopic subsection here is just make sure you have a set of Zubababa, Gocho, Gaga coats. Alright, and it's literally if you control a Zubababa or Go monster, except for this card. While this card is in your hand, you special summon this card. You can target a Go or Dodoro monster in your graveyard, special summon it. You cannot special summon except for Exceed monsters for the rest of this turn. So you get soft locked into extra deck monsters, but truthfully, that's fine at the end of the day because this is going to be one of those other centerpieces. But once again, it's only one printing. I'm not saying buy a lot of these, but make sure you have a set of these if you're planning on messing around with the Utopic strategy. So that's the Utopic subsection here. Now, Flunderies. We got to talk about Mega Raiza here. I would not be surprised to see Mega Raiza getting some sort of reprint here. But Mega Raiza is one of the center points for the Flunderies strategy. At least from testing, being able to resolve this card during your opponent's turn for a 2-layer interruption. Alright, also, not even to mention the fact that you get to shuffle something back in from your graveyard. Alright, and if you get really cheesy lucky, you can actually recycle your D shifter back to the top of your deck after shiftering turn 1, draw another shifter, and just cheese laugh at your opponent. That is the power of Flunderies, though besides a little bit more susceptibility. The card's already been bought out once. I just make the sub note here that I would definitely, if I'm looking at playing Flunderies, I'd have one, max 2 of these. I'm citing one at the moment, meaning one, but that's a story for another day. Speaking of things you're going to want to have. So, the biggest debate right now among, I think, Flunderies players is, do I play Shifter or do I not play Shifter? And I can see arguments for both sides of this, alright? Literally being able to just turn the game into a macrocosmo for a turn, not a bad idea. But this card doesn't really do too much besides being a card that gets the game back to your turn. Now, among other hand traps, being able to Shifter and not get Droll and Lockbirded, that's always a really good feeling at the end of the day here. But Shifter's price has already been on the rise at the moment. No planned reprint. Currently, we might see it as a gold rare later on in the year, but as I'm making this video, if you're planning on playing Thunderies, I would give this a consideration option point here as either a main deck or a side deck option for the deck, because getting that Macra Cosmo going for one single turn is not a bad idea, man. Alright, and the other thing I want to mention here for the Thunderies side of things here is Gold Sarcophagus. I've seen lots of weird things happening with all rarities of Gold Sarcophagus. If you're one of the people that wants a semi-decent Gold Sarcophagus, at least in a very nice looking rarity, I would give some consideration to looking at some of the higher rarities. If you look at something, you're like, well, that one looks good for the price tag, considering that this card is essentially an extender for Flunderies. You literally activate this normal summon of Flunderies. This actually allows you to help chain block. Alright, because, you know, Flunderies 1, the Banish 1, Chain Link 2, to be able to add back to the hand. So basically, it is a starter in the sense of that for the deck. So it's going to be something that you're going to want to give some sort of consideration to playing. And you just got to pick your copy and decide, is this the rarity I want to go with? So that wraps up the sub-Flunderies section for this video. Now, I also got to give a separate, but also nod back to the Utopic side here. Gallant Granite here allows you to search for Gigantes, which is also an extender for the Utopic deck. Alright, so you might want to pick up a Gallant Granite for that. But the main reason why I bring up Gallant Granite as a penny stonk at this point in time is the fact that it searches for the new guy. The new guy, you guys know how good the new rock is. You literally reveal it, your back row is protected until, you know, the end of your opponent's next turn. And, you know, if you activate a back row, you get to special summon this guy, and you get to set anything you want from your deck that's spell and trap related. Well, that's pretty good. Alright, yeah, generic rock searcher. Who would have guessed that this would end up being a problem later on in its life? But now you got to ask yourself at this point in time, hey, is it worth picking up and making sure that I have a copy of this? I'm going to tell you this honestly, yes. I have a Gallant Granite, alright? It's definitely going to be something that you're going to want. So that wraps up the new rock monster. Now the last chunk of this is going to be dedicated to some fishies, alright? And the new number 4 deck is actually kind of fun. So the first thing I want to talk about here is Bountiful Princess. So Bountiful Princess here basically has the ability to, on normal or special summon, you can banish this card, and then you can special summon a level 4 lower fish type monster from your deck, except for itself. Well, the thing is, I can Lone Fire this and trigger this. But the thing is, you can use this effect to go into Buzzsaw, and then Buzzsaw, guess what? Target itself, start combo. So that means that at that point in time, I can start doing stuff. Now, we don't have a projected release for number 4. This is so far off in the distance, it's not even funny at this point. But if you're planning on playing anything like shark related here, this is going to be the starter that you're going to want to find yourself actually having. And then in addition to that, original Princess Silent Angler. If you control a water monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, but you cannot special summon you know, from your hand for the rest of the turn. The interesting thing about this is this does in fact have an ultra printing, and that's the main reason why I want to bring this up, is like a penny stonk because of that ultra printing. We now have 3 prints for this, between a common, a rare, and the ultra, but every time some sort of like craziness happens, they always go straight to the higher rarity version of the card and kind of start doing crazy things to it. So it's the reason why I want to point that out, because that's something to look into at that point. Now the last nod here is for everything. It's for Utopic and for the water deck, and it's make sure you have a copy of F-Zero. Effectively, I've seen a lot of cool decks. You know, it might not be seeing a lot of play right now, but it just takes Konami or the metagame one door to open, and you see some sort of impressive combo develop with this card, man. Being able to negate, cannot be destroyed by battle, cannot be destroyed by card effects, and you get to take whatever you negate. Holy crap, man, this is the resource opener of the year. But people look at this card and they're like, no, I don't want this right now. Get it sooner than later. That's how it works, guys. So guys, what do you think about this list? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. Smash it, love, grab out, subscribe, and see you guys on this on more awesome content. I'll see your beautiful faces back here later on the day. Peace out, guys. Have a good one. Thank you, patrons, for making the ride never truly end. Without you guys' support, well, I would probably be doing Truffle Shuffle videos for a living. Guys, please check out VanCole40 for all of your Cardfight Vanguard content brought to you by MCole40. And if you are looking to pick up singles, check out mcolegames.com for your trading card game needs. Thanks for watching, everybody.